From unexpected golf shots that crushed players' dreams, to extremely inappropriate behavior that led to suspension from the course. These are 15 crazy golf moments you will never see again. And first we start with number 15. And you might want to lean in for this one, because what happened next is so rare you could watch golf every day for the rest of your life and still never see it again. Round 3 of the 2008 BMW Championship, par 4 7th hole at Bellerive Country Club. Bubba Watson and Billy Mayfair are in the same group, walking up the fairway after a pair of solid tee shots. Nothing special so far, just two pros in good position to make birdie. Bubba steps up first for his approach. The swing is smooth, the strike is pure, and you can hear the crowd start to rise as the ball tracks the flag. One hop, a little release, and then gone. Straight into the cup for eagle. The crowd explodes and Bubba flashes a grin. But here's where you've got to pay attention, because while the gallery is still losing it over Bubba's shot, Billy Mayfair is already lining up his own second shot. He swings, the ball lands just short of the hole, starts rolling, and, unbelievably, it disappears too. Two swings, two eagles, same hole, same group. In less than a minute, they've turned an ordinary par 4 into one of the most improbable back-to-back shots in golf history. Which brings us to number 14. And you won't believe how fast the roller coaster can shift. Round 2 at the 3M Open, TPC Twin Cities, 2024. Hayden Buckley is fighting through an uphill battle. He steps onto par 4 16th, just outside the penalty area. Buckley faces his second shot from the fringe of the hazard, a delicate lie with water looming ahead and a red penalty stake marker just inches from his ball. He decides to go for it. That swing sounds solid, but as the ball skips off the face, it ricochets directly off the red stake, veers sideways, and plunges into the water. End result? A brutal double bogey. Frustration floods over. He grips the stake, tosses it in disgust, and every fan nearby knows this is an ugly moment. And here's where it gets uglier. Buckley could have had that stake removed before hitting. The rules allowed it. But he figured there was no way he'd actually hit it. But then, here's where you tighten your jaw and lean back in your chair. Buckley steps to the 17th tee, yardage set at 178 yards, a reachable par 3. He swings again. This time, nothing but pure connection. The ball lands on the green, hops once, and disappears. Hole in one. From double bogey to ace, in under 2 holes. That 1-2 punch, a self-inflicted disaster followed by an electric redemption, turned what had been shaping into a rough week into one of the most talked-about 2-hole bursts of the season. A reminder that in golf, the pendulum can swing wildly, and you've got to ride it. And for this one, we go to the 2022 Genesis Scottish Open, Renaissance Club, the par 3 16th. Will Zalatoris is just off the green, eyeing up a delicate little chip. Nothing unusual there. He's done this 1,000 times. He sets up, gives it a smooth stroke, and the ball lands soft, rolling toward the hole. It looks good, really good. For a second you think it's going in, but it doesn't. Instead it lips out, one of those agonizing near misses that makes you want to look away. And then, it gets weird. The ball keeps rolling, drifting past the cup and smacks right into the flagstick. You'd think that would stop it. It doesn't. It bounces, keeps moving. Almost like it's headed somewhere else entirely. And where did it end up? Not just anywhere, not just on the fringe, it came to rest perfectly balanced on top of Matt Fitzpatrick's poker chip ball marker, like it was trying to win some trick shot competition. Even Zalatoris couldn't believe it. Fitzpatrick was laughing, the caddies had their phones out, and the crowd just stared like, did that seriously just happen? You could play golf for decades and never see that again, but Zalatoris pulled it off, on live TV. Number 12 takes us to a moment where the air at Augusta National felt heavy, like everyone knew something was about to happen. They just didn't know how big it would be. Sunday, 2019 Masters. Tiger Woods is walking onto the par 3 16th 2 holes from glory, but still just one shot ahead. The tournament is very much alive. He pulls an 8-iron. Nothing flashy in his setup, nothing forced. Just that calm, unshakable focus that made him Tiger. The swing is pure. The ball starts right of the pin, lands on the slope, and here comes the magic. It starts trickling down toward the hole, getting closer, and stops 2 feet away. The patrons around the green erupt, but Tiger barely reacts, just a little nod, the kind of nod that says, "Yep, that's the one." In that instant, everyone watching knows it. He's not just surviving Augusta, he's owning it. He taps in the birdie to go 2 shots clear with 2 holes to play. On 17, he plays it safe, finding the green in regulation and calmly 2-putting for par. Then comes 18, where he lays up short of trouble, finds the green and makes another stress-free par. Moments later, it's official. Tiger Woods, at 43 years old, wins his 5th green jacket and his first major in 11 years. That tee shot on 16 wasn't just a great golf shot. It was the moment Augusta and the entire golfing world realized the comeback was complete. Coming in at number 11, and this one straight out of the "you've got to be kidding me" category, the Belfry 2022, the Betfred British Masters. And Rasmus Højgaard is about to experience one of the most gut-wrenching bounce-outs you'll ever see. It's the final round. He's standing on the par 4, 16th. Tee shots in play, and now he's got about 120 yards left for his second. The pin is tucked, but Rasmus isn't holding back. He goes straight at it. The strike is pure. The ball's on a rope, tracking the flag the whole way. And then perfection. The ball slams straight into the cup, a slam dunk. The crowd gasps. For a split second, it's a highlight of the year. But the golf course had other plans. The ball hits the bottom, pops back out like it's been shot from a cannon, and spins away, rolling all the way off the green and into the rough. Rasmus just stands there, staring at the hole like it personally betrayed him. The crowd can't believe it. The commentators are losing it. In the space of a heartbeat, he went from the shot of the tournament to scrambling to save par. You could practice for a lifetime and never pull off a shot like that. And yet, somehow, he didn't even get the reward. Next up, number 10. And this one's all about refusing to give up. Bernardus Golf Club 2022, the Dutch Open. Adrian Meronk steps onto the scene facing a nightmare lie. His ball sitting down in the water, just enough of it peeking above the surface to tempt him. Most players would take the penalty drop, mutter something under their breath, and move on. But not Meronk. He decides to go for it. He takes off his shoes, peels off his socks, and wades into the hazard like he's about to wrestle the ball out himself. The crowd is buzzing. This could go brilliantly, or horribly wrong. He steadies himself, opens the club face, and takes a clean swipe. There's an explosion of water, and against all odds, the ball shoots out of the pond, lands on the green, and stops. The place erupts. But the job isn't done. He's still staring down nearly 50 feet for par. The putt is long, tricky, with just enough break to make you overthink it. Meronk steps up, gives it a smooth roll, and watches as it tracks perfectly before dropping right into the heart of the cup. From the water to a perfect par save in 2 swings. A moment of pure grit, creativity, and absolute commitment. And here we are at number 9. Some golf moments are legendary because of the players. Others because of a fan who had one too many. In 1987, Jeff Sluman was standing over the most important putt of his life. A 6-footer for birdie on the 17th island green, the second playoff hole against Sandy Lyle. Sink it, and he wins the Players' Championship. The crowd fell silent. The pressure was suffocating. Sluman took his stance, gripped his putter, and just as he was about to strike, splash. Out of nowhere, a fan leaped into the water surrounding the green. Chaos. People gasped, officials scrambled, and Sluman had to step back while they fished this guy out of the pond. What was he doing? No one knew. Maybe he was celebrating early. Maybe he thought he was part of the tournament. Maybe he just lost a bet. But what we do know is that when the mess was finally cleaned up, Sluman had to refocus. He reset over the putt, took his stroke, missed. Would he have made it if not for the disruption? Did the unexpected chaos shake his focus just enough to cost him the win? We'll never know. What we do know is that the playoff moved to 18, where Lyle made par, Sluman bogeyed, and the tournament was over. A championship lost, a question that will never be answered, and one of the most bizarre finishes in Players' Championship history, all thanks to one very enthusiastic and very wet spectator. For number 8, we dive into a rookie's nightmare in the California desert. It's the 2025 American Express Tournament, and rookie William Mao, fresh out of college and finding his rhythm on the PGA Tour, is on the 16th tee during Friday's second round. He's playing solidly at 6 under par, right near the projected cut line. If he can get through these last few holes, he's set for the weekend, picking up a paycheck and gaining some solid experience. The 16th is a par 5, perfect for a long hitter like Mao. But it also has one of the scariest hazards in golf, an 18-foot deep bunker known as the San Andreas Fault. Mao's tee shot splits the fairway, powerful and precise. With 275 yards to the green, Mao decides to go for it in two. An aggressive play, but one that could yield a birdie or even an eagle. His approach shot veers left, finding that dreaded San Andreas fault bunker. It's a difficult spot, but recoverable. Or so it seems. But Mao's first attempt from the bunker flies over the green. His chip back rolls through the green and into the bunker again. Another attempt from the sand. Another chip that rolls off the green. Back to the bunker. It becomes a horrifying loop, bunker to rough, rough to bunker, that seems it might never end. When the massacre finally ends, Mu has carded a 13 on the hole, an octuple bogey, 8 over par on a single hole. In the span of 15 minutes, Mao goes from comfortably making the cut to packing his bags for the weekend. Coming in at number 7, which brings us to the desert of Phoenix, the 2022 WM Phoenix Open, golf's wildest event, where over 200,000 fans pack TPC Scottsdale, many congregating at the stadium-like 16th hole. But today, our attention is on the drivable par 4 17th hole during Sunday's final round. Sahith Theegala, a 24-year-old rookie with a unique swing and a personality to match, has won over the crowd. Against all odds, this sponsor's exemption guy is now leading the tournament late in the final round. One solid hole, followed by a steady par at the last, and he's got his first PGA Tour win in the bag. Theegala's tee shot is perfect. A beautiful fade that looks destined to find the green, setting up an eagle opportunity that would seal the victory. But as the ball lands, it takes a brutal kick to the left, rolling into the water hazard guarding the green. How unlucky. After taking his drop, Theegala's got a tough chip ahead. With all the pressure on him, his touch lets him down for a second. The chip rolls past the hole, and he misses the comeback putt. What looked like a sure birdie when his drive was in the air turns into a brutal bogey. Scottie Scheffler seizes the opportunity, winning the tournament as Theegala finishes tied for third, just one stroke out of a playoff. 1 yard, 12 inches. That's all that separated Theegala from likely victory and the heartbreak he experienced instead. Here we are at number 6, and we've got a moment that really shows just how brutal golf can be. The 2013 World Cup of Golf in Melbourne, Australia. Welsh golfer Stuart Manley, ranked 346th in the world, steps onto the tee of the par 3 third hole during the third round. What follows is perhaps the most dramatic emotional swing in golf history. Manley's tee shot is perfect, tracking the whole way, landing soft and rolling straight into the cup for a spectacular ace. The crowd goes wild. And Manley? He loses it, celebrating like he just won the lottery. And honestly, he thought he did, because parked right behind the tee was a brand new Mercedes-Benz, the prize for a hole-in-one. Manley was so hyped he actually started running back toward the car like he wanted to hug it. The moment was pure joy. Until someone told him there's a catch. A cruel, heartbreaking catch. The car is only available for aces made during the final round, not the third round. Manley's celebration turns bittersweet as he realizes his perfect shot has earned him worldwide acclaim, but not the luxury vehicle that seemed to be his reward. Sliding into our top 5, here we're with Doug Sanders at the 1970 Open Championship. This was a man who had won 20 times on the PGA Tour, known as much for his flashy wardrobe as his talent. But for all his success, Sanders had never captured a major championship. And now, on the 18th green at St. Andrews, the home of golf, he was 3 feet away from changing that forever. It wasn't just any 3-footer. This was to defeat Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear himself, and claim the claret jug. His first putt from 30 feet above the hole had been perfect, leaving what should have been a simple tap-in for glory. But then, as he addressed the ball, Sanders noticed something in his line. A speck of dirt? A tuft of brown grass? Whatever it was, it threw him off. Instead of stepping back to reset, Sanders awkwardly bent down to remove it without moving his feet, a break in concentration at the worst possible moment. He rushed the stroke, and the ball slid past the right edge. The sight of Sanders lunging forward, as if trying to pull the ball back into the hole with his body, became one of golf's most haunting images. He lost to Nicklaus in the playoff the next day, and that 3-footer would haunt him for the rest of his career. He never won a major championship. On number 4, we have a disaster that happened before the first shot was even struck, the 2017 Masters Tournament. Dustin Johnson arrives at Augusta National as the hottest golfer on the planet, having won his previous 3 tournaments. He's the guy everyone's watching, the clear favorite to walk away with the green jacket. The day before the tournament begins, Johnson completes a successful practice round. Every aspect of his game looks sharp. The booming drives, finding fairways, approach shots, attacking pins, the formerly suspect putting stroke now reliable. Everything is on track for what many predict will be a wire-to-wire victory. But then disaster strikes, and it doesn't happen on the course, it happens in his rental house. See, Johnson heads back to his rental house near Augusta National, feeling good about his prep. It's a pretty chill evening. Dinner, some relaxation, and getting his mind ready for tomorrow's opening round. He decides he'll move his car in the driveway. And that's when things go from bad to worse. Wearing only socks, Johnson slips on a small staircase in his rental house. He lands awkwardly and tweaks his back. At first, it seems minor, maybe something he can shake off. The next morning, he shows up at Augusta trying to fight through it. A few hesitant swings on the range, but it's clear he's in pain. With his tee time approaching, he walks toward the first tee, but never makes it. Johnson pulls out before hitting a single shot. The favorite to win the Masters becomes a spectator, all because of a staircase and a pair of socks. Next moment brings us to Florida in 2025. It's the Valspar Championship at Innisbrook's Copperhead Court. Canadian Adam Hadwin, who's actually won this event before, steps up to the 10th tee on Friday. He's playing pretty well, right around the cut line, which isn't bad on a course where just making par feels like a win. The 10th is a tough par 4. You need a solid drive and a careful approach shot to a tricky green. Hadwin nails the drive, but his next shot is just a little off. Not terrible, just not what he was aiming for. Frustrated, he does what Clayton and tons of golfers do. He smacks his club into the ground. Again, it is usually no big deal. Just a divot, and you move on. But on this particular day, Hadwin's club finds not just turf, but something hidden beneath it. A sprinkler head. The impact breaks the sprinkler head open, and suddenly, without warning, a powerful jet of water erupts from the ground, shooting skyward like a geyser. Hadwin, nearby spectators, and his playing partners are caught completely off guard as water sprays in all directions. The Canadian immediately tries to stop the flow, but the damage is done. The course maintenance team has to be called in to repair the broken sprinkler. And as if the embarrassment weren't enough, Hadwin goes on to make a double bogey on the hole and ultimately misses the cut. Next up, number 2. Featuring what might be the most disastrous bunker play at the worst possible moment. This is Thomas Bjorn at the 2003 British Open at Royal St. George's. 3 shots ahead with 4 to play, the stoic Dane was on the verge of capturing his first major championship. He had played brilliant golf all week, mastering the quirky bounces and brutal winds of links golf. Even better, he was about to become the first Danish player to win a major championship. The claret jug was practically engraved with his name. Then came the par 3 16th hole and that bunker. A seemingly routine greenside sand shot turned into the stuff of nightmares. Bjorn's ball found the steep face of the trap, and the downfall started. His first attempt caught the steep slope and rolled back to his feet. The gallery groaned. No problem, he thought. Just try again. But the second attempt? Same result. The ball trickled back down the slope like it was drawn by a magnet, settling mockingly at Bjorn's feet. By the time he finally escaped on his third attempt, making double bogey, his 3-shot lead had vanished into the English seaside air. He would bogey the 17th as well, completing the collapse. Meanwhile, Ben Curtis, ranked 396th in the world and playing in his very first major championship, became the most unlikely champion in Open history. The American was so convinced he wouldn't win that he had already booked a flight home before the leaders finished. And finally, number 1. We're at Augusta National in 2013. You already know it, it's the Masters tournament. This time we're in the second round. And Tiger Woods, in his prime and in contention, is making his move up the leaderboard. Oh, the legendary par 5 15th at Augusta National. A prime scoring chance where birdies and even eagles are up for grabs, especially for someone like Tiger Woods. His third shot is perfect, a delicate wedge that lands softly, tracking directly toward the pin. The ball is on line, on the perfect trajectory, with the ideal speed. The crowd begins to rise, sensing something special might happen. The ball is tracking, then disaster strikes. The ball smacks the flagstick dead center, no soft bounce, just a straight-up bullseye. And instead of dropping for birdie or settling near the hole for an easy par, it kicks back hard, rolls off the green, and splashes into the water. Ouch. A perfect shot transformed into a penalty stroke right there. But the nightmare was just getting started. After taking his drop, Tiger placed the ball about 2 yards behind the original spot. Barely anything, but still a rules violation. The next morning, he was hit with a 2-stroke penalty. What should have been a birdie turned into a triple bogey. He went from possibly taking the lead to falling 5 shots behind, all because his perfect shot hit the flagstick and the drop was just a couple yards off. In the end, he finished 4 strokes behind Adam Scott. Those 2 moments on the 15th might have cost him his 5th green jacket.